something that's near and dear to us. People not understanding the value. Core memory. I'm not mad. You remember Miss Woods, counselor from high school, Mrs. Woods?
Yeah, yep.
I I was so serious. I think I graduated like third in our class. I was so serious, checking my grade point after every report card, and that's how neurotic or whatever the word was I was about it, because I always want to be the best. What are we here for? And in the same breath, of course, I had this whole basement salon going on the entire time I was in high school. My thinking was, let me get this cosmetology paper while I'm in high school so I can do it for free, go part-time. That way, when I'm in college, I can be working at a salon, getting this paper while I'm getting this degree. It wasn't necessarily let me graduate from high school and become a hairstylist, even though if that is what I decided to do, it would have been okay.
Yes.
I remember her, she wouldn't sign the form. My parents were okay with it. She wouldn't sign the form for me to go to cosmetology school. And I will never forget, I remember exactly where we were in her office. She said, "You are way too smart for that." And she said, "No, you've got to stand on your feet all day." And I remember, I'm so glad I had the brain back then to say, okay, she's not going to be a part of this path. Not, oh, well, I'll never go do that. No, it's okay. I guess this just isn't going to happen now, how I think it's going to happen. But I'm like, lady, I've been downstairs for the past 3 years making paper. Like, I make more than my friends.
Than you.
Right. Okay. And you might need to sit in my chair, but okay. And then, like, what is that saying? So you're saying how you feel about hairstylists and that you've ranked them, and in your mind, hairstylists are down here on the totem pole, not up here. You're saying that because I'm smart, I shouldn't use my natural God-given talent to create a living. And I noticed everything wrong with that. And I was so glad I had the strength and power of my own mind and understood at least that much about me, not to ingest any of that. And then at the end of the day, I still plan on going to Michigan State. I still plan on going to college, but I wouldn't change anything for it. I don't have any regrets. I wouldn't change my path. I've learned things and noticed things along my path that have only made me better. So, but
my dad has always told me certain things that God puts in us. There is a passion and a desire that has to do with our path in life. And no matter how smart you are, no matter how whatever you are, your will and the energy that is placed inside of you is going to constantly drag you. So when you try to go over here, it's going to pull you back. When you try to not go there, it's going to pull you forward. When you go there, it's going to just naturally flow. And I'm hoping that our children are getting better guidance nowadays for them to be taught about passion and commitment, because what you're passionate about, you will survive. You will make a living. You will do more than survive. You're going to thrive. You're going to excel. Versus, I remember, I don't know if you remember this, like when we were in middle school, beginning of high school for me, there was this whole push for engineers. And it was, Aramis, you are so smart. You were this. You should consider being an engineer. And I was like, I don't want to be no engineer, right? That was when GMI was there in Flint. They had the summer programs. We would go to Michigan Tech for the summer. We would take engineering programs. And I was like, okay, right? So I said I wanted to be an attorney when I was in 5th grade. And quite frankly, I was specific. I said I wanted to be a prosecutor in the 5th grade. And I remember trying to be persuaded that I should consider as a Black woman engineers because that's the direction and the need. And I started going to camps. Excuse me. I started going to camps, and as I started doing it, that job was hard. You know, it wasn't that I couldn't do it. It was challenging. And I remember telling my dad, it was the last GMI camp that I went to. I said, Dad, I know this is what you guys want for me, but this is hard. And anything hard, I want it to be what I want. Like, we have to work for something, but I want it to be what I want. And it was that point my dad said, you pursue what God has put in you. And I remember going to Michigan, go Blue. I remember leaving and going to University of Detroit for law school. And I remember relocating to Florida and getting a job that, I'm not exaggerating, was almost $100,000 less than what it would have been if it would have been the type of law that I was supposed to. Right? Wow. Supposed to, you know, corporate counsel, you can be an attorney. We have access and, you know, networks right there. You can go straight to General Motors. You can work via in-house counsel. And I was like, that's not what I want to do. Oh, so you ain't gonna make this kind of money. Yes, I'm going to be broke. I'm going to be broke and happy versus rich and miserable. Yep, that's exactly what's going to be happening. I pursued my job. I became a prosecutor. I left the prosecutor's office, became a public defender. I left the public defender's office, opened up my own firm. I did private practice. I went back to the PD's office. I did civil litigation. And then ultimately, because of all that diversity of experience, namely having been a prosecutor straight out of law school, that's when I ran on my platform to become the elected state attorney. So this isn't about politics. It's not about being an attorney. It's about pursuing what is inside of you and that passion that God gives you. That's why you're so successful, because you've never had the ego to worry about what other people think, right? Like, you're like, no, I like doing hair. I like being with people. You know, I am smart enough to do your job, and your job. I just don't want to.
Just don't want to. Yeah, I could do anything I wanted to. This is what I choose. This is what I choose to be smart at. This is what I choose to put my effort, energy behind. This is what I choose to let God shine through. This is my choice, not yours. Yeah. And I think the same as you. I wish that was pumped into kids more. And then the whole idea that you have to do one thing, pick one thing. Please don't tell kids that. If God didn't put just one thing inside of you, if God is so abundant, do you think God put one thing inside of you? One dream, one career, one this, one that. Explore that. Explore it. If you fail, you fail. Fail fast. The quicker you fail,
and maybe he did. Maybe he put one thing inside of you. He didn't put it inside of me. He gave me multiple things, and I've got to answer to him. Right, I have to answer to him for what he put in me, not what you think that I should be doing. Like, we when that number's called, there's only one thing to do. I think what you're doing is absolutely remarkable, especially considering how you navigated this trail to end up exactly where you've always wanted to be, but having met people along the way. One thing you didn't talk about that we had, do you remember when you came to St. Pete for a wedding?
Oh, yes, I thought about that. Yes, but I don't know. Did you know? Did I tell you that I accidentally cut my client whose hair I came to do? I accidentally cut her bangs, like hang there up to here, right before the ceremony. No, mortified.
Oh yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Tell me that.
Oh, I'm still embarrassed to this day. That is okay. Go ahead. But yes, I almost digressed. But yes,
no. The reason I brought that up is because when you talked about I choose to be smart doing this, I remember knowing that I was going to see you, and there were certain questions that I had about hair growth, about hair health, and you and I had this whole conversation about hair health. And me with all my degrees, me with all my everything, I relied solely on you, your smarts, your education, and your experience to guide me into that. So that, like, okay, because so you choose not to do something else, but navigating everybody who does hair isn't doing it to the same degree with the same degree of excellence or intelligence.
True. That's true facts. I'll get into. Before I do, I want to explain a little bit about some of the perks of Rooted in Dallas, and you'll see how this wraps right around. I want my guest clients to feel like they're coming to visit, and they're just so happening to leave nice and refreshed with this beautiful head of hair, freshly clean, all that stuff. I will be offering monthly complimentary wellness classes, be it a yoga class, Pilates class, sound bath. I've got a sound bath instructor on board. I'm so excited. The whole idea of Rooted in Dallas and what I'm doing, I'm not just treating hair. Like you said, we're touching souls. We're getting inside you. I've got breathing exercises, things of that nature that we're going to do. There'll be a VIP gift every time. If you come once a week, you're getting a gift, a little gift basket. Every week, we're going to have some crushed sweets, logo cookies in there. One of the things that I'm really looking forward to is the fact that everyone who will come will get a fresh, brand new silk scarf with a note on how to properly care for your headscarf. Don't think I didn't wear this today on accident. You got the scarf on purpose, girl. You got the scarf on purpose. So I wanted to find the annual post that I share, but I thought about it too late. So was it just that you read that post and you were just right here with me that we ended up kind of being on the same page? Or what was it about that?
I remember. Post? No, it was just really funny. I want to say my headscarf was in the dryer.
That's what
and I remember getting on, I think it was Facebook, and yes, you made a comment about getting your hair done and putting that nasty scarf on that clean hair. And I was like, oh, she clocked somebody. It wasn't me because mine is in the dryer. That's how I felt. I was like, my toes are fine. No stepping on there. But I'm guilty. The guilty of the former habit of, I mean, your hair is done, wrap it up, right? Like you don't think until you really come to terms with it, you don't realize how nasty those things are. The shedding of the hair, right? The sweating of it. And, at my age, like the sweating is very real, right? So you need to make sure that you are washing it just like you wash your body. I mean, I'm sorry, y'all can cut that. Like you need to, it is, if you're going to wear it like a part of you, you need to wash it like a part of you. Don't say that you're clean if the things on you that you're putting on aren't clean. You ain't gonna put on no dirty underwear. Like, why would you put on a dirty head wrap, scarf, whatever you choose to do, bonnet, whatever's covering you is in need of a good wash.
Yes. So for those of you who aren't familiar with this annual post, I think I've been reposting this since about 2010, 2011. And I was very perturbed that day. I remember exactly the day. I remember the client. I will not share that. Love her. So part of what else drove me away from the salon, and I know this sounds bad. Well, the lack of sanitation. Understand you're coming to get your hair clean. However, bad smells bad. I don't care how you slice or dice it. And being about the bowl, smelling all that bad, after a while, you're like, oh, all right now. But there was this certain very odor scent from a client. And I knew it was a particular product she was using. I'm like, why are you using this? Why do you keep using this? It smells. So after multiple appointments of trying to find out why she kept using this, I just had to come out and tell her, sweetie, Stop using that. It smells. I said, listen, I don't even have to ask. Your husband wants to tell you. I know your kids want to tell you, but they don't know how. I am helping them. Don't ever use that again. It smells horrible on your head. And she was just like, oh, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I said, and even if you don't wear it, you're putting that scarf right back on your head. Okay. So you're putting that same scent right back on your head. Okay. You know, let's make sure we get this on the same cycle. And then not long after that, I had a client, kind of that same thing, little scent situation. And I asked her, I said, how often are you washing your headscarf? You know, you have some leading questions. And she had this stunned look on her face like, what do you mean? I said, how often do you wash your scarf? I was supposed to wash it. I'm talking corporate, education. Okay. I was like, all righty here. I said, so, hey, this is the deal. When you wash your sheets, when you wash your hair, just you wash your hair, you wash your scarf. Put that on the same schedule. So in this whole post, I had to explain, ladies, if you are washing your hair and putting that dirty scarf right back on there, you're putting that clean head of hair right back into all that funk. You've totally defeated your purpose here. Or if you're not, then take it a step further and make sure your sheets and your pillowcase are on the same cycle. It all goes into. So yeah, that needs to be said. So
over and over and over and over and over again. And you know what's funny is you said it lightly, but you're doing husbands a favor. I mean, like, you don't want to cuddle up and come from behind somebody and get hit with a stench out of this world. Like, if I come to you in the face and your breath is off, I'm going to back up. That's your back breath, right? Like, that's your back breath back there when he comes in.
Yes.
Right? Like, when he comes up, I can see. And then you make him handle that. Like, so much of it, you like that smell is when you can probably smell that right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's once you have that smell, you cannot get the disgusting smell out of your nose. Like, it lives there forever. And you see how your eyes, you twitching. You get that eye twitch. It's just, it stinks. And the worst part about it is that you have become immune to the smell. Yeah. And everybody else hasn't. You walk around with it all day, but you know, your kids, your spouse, no, they get a break from it, and then it hits them at nighttime, and then you wonder why your room smells, your bathroom has a stench. It's just it's unsanitary, and I think that's the word you always use in that post, is how unsanitary it is.
Yeah. Funny, as you were describing that, I was thinking about the parallel of life, for real. Mm-hmm. And I'm just saying how Auntie Jennifer Lewis says it. You sit in shit long enough, it don't stink. Okay?
Wow.
That you can relate that to life. You know, you walk around with all this stuff on you. If you don't wash it off on a regular, you don't notice it. However, when you come around other folks, they might scatter. Understand, stink might be on you. That's a life lesson. Wow.
You know, and the other thing that you were saying a minute ago, that, I mean, cut it if you need to, but the reality is you're not going to shower and put on dirty panties. Yeah. You know, the reason that you don't put on dirty panties is because your body excretes certain chemicals, right? There's certain things. There's a reason you wash every day. There's a reason that you use special soaps. There's a reason that you don't share panties with people. There's a reason because of how intimate that is, but also what makes it intimate is what comes out of there, right? So if you liken that to your head, the science of it is the only difference is it's not reproductive cells, right? But there's still sweat cells, there's still dead skin cells, there's still all the things that go along with your hair and that you've placed in your hair that now is sitting on that headpiece, headscarf, head bonnet, whatever, and then it sits and then it marinates, and then it sits and then it marinates. And then it sits and it marinates. And then you go get your hair done and you put this perfectly marinated cap back on your head, expecting for it to still be fresh the day after. And it's not.
Yeah. We could definitely use more education. Definitely. And again, that's why I'm coming back to this space. It's funny, when I messaged you about doing this, you instantly were like, I see you're getting pulled right back to your roots. And it's funny because it's kind of obvious, even though it's still not surprising to me, but still a bit of a surprise, because I started planning this loosely about a year ago. But yeah, in preparing for this, doing a lot of inner work, I've totally dived into the book The Artist's Way, really by what's the word, influenced by Doechii. There is no Doechii slander in this home, none whatsoever. Doing her thing, it's working for her, so let's not recreate the wheel. I went and checked out the book that helped her, but it speaks to creatives. It has you go back to a lot of your roots and just peel away stuff. And of course, what's at my roots? Hair, creativity. So it's like, oh, okay, this is my path. Let me fully embrace it and really own it and do it in its fullness.
Sam, I can
fullness.
tell you,
go ahead.
I have known you more than 30 years.
Yes.
You've had careers. If anyone ever asked me what your post-college career was, I might name a certain company, but I can't tell you what you did there. Like, I can't, there's nothing that you have done that has matched you. Like, I would, if someone were like, Sam, oh yeah, she does hair. Well, I don't know what she does, but I know she does hair. Like, no matter how far you have gone into your professional world, that has always been the nucleus and the center point that keeps you going. It doesn't mean that, like you said earlier, you can't do other things. When I look at you, that's what I trust. That's what I know. And that's what is most familiar. And it goes with your identity. You can expand it, but you can't ever escape it.
Yeah. All roads lead back to hair, and that's okay. That's a beautiful road. No complaints.
It's better than okay. It's authentic. It's passion. It's real. It's excellence. It's you.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. As soon as what really did it for me is when I saw the shampoo bed. I got a not so great shampoo for my birthday last year. My wonderful husband had been trying to take me to get my hair shampooed for 2 years, literally. So finally got it shampooed, and it was not anything near my level at all. So I wrote out what I would want if I had this detailed shampoo process. And that is literally the blueprint for Rooted in Dallas. But shortly after that, maybe 2 weeks, I saw the viral videos of the head spa. As soon as I saw that shampoo bed, I said, oh, Coach, I got to get back in the game. If this is what we're doing now, I want in on that. I'm like, oh, my girlies have paid their dues at the kitchen sink. We're going to go ahead and lay down and get our rest of relaxation on. We have earned this hands down. And then most of the people providing this service are Asians. That whole concept started in Asia, and Black women just will not be as comfortable going to an Asian stylist as they would another Black woman. So again, it's me doing my part of filling in that gap and giving us an opportunity or giving us an experience that we deserve, a top shelf opportunity that we deserve. So when you come in and you get your gifted scarf, there will be a note on it with how to care for it. If you have an abundance of scarves, that means you get to gift someone else and you get to have the opportunity to connect with another woman and y'all swap some silk scarf hair care stories and you're doing your part to educate. I'll also be doing workshops in Dallas to help educate. Once again, this is more than just coming in and getting your hair done. I want to do my part in having these conversations in the community. I've already partnered with a wonderful women's shelter in Dallas. One of my good friends is a CEO there. So I'll be treating their guests, their residents to services, and then also doing workshops for their residents. So we can just cover the basics, even just talking about shampoo, conditioning, detangling, wrapping your hair up. That alone is over an hour conversation with the group of Black women. So I'm out here filling in the hair gaps. That's my goal. I love it. All right. One last question. Well, two last questions before we get out of here. If you were to have your dream group getting your hair done, let's say you got a Saturday afternoon, maybe a little bubbly in there, some snacks. You got your homegirls in the salon, got a good crew. Who would you have in the crew getting your hair done at the same time in a salon?
Ooh, that's a good one. My best girlfriend, Ayana. Taquin.
Oh, that's
Toya.
Fun. That's fun.
My girlfriend, Monique. My girlfriend, April. My sister-in-law, Marielle. My sister. And probably Sumitra and Shayna. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. That's a party. That's a cool party. I like that. I like the envisioning of it, and I like the energy that it creates just right there in that moment, you know?
Yeah. And Ashley, my girlfriend Ashley. All right, that was it. That was it.
Right.
You know, I've been blessed with girlfriends. So who all have their own individual. I'm not the person who's like, I don't have girlfriends. No, that's not
it. My last question before I let you go. This is not hair related. This is a part of a little research that I'm doing. I have some theories, haven't came to any concrete assumptions yet. What is the very, very, very first memory you have, period, in life?
A birthday party at Long John Silver's.
I love it. My girl.
That's
what?
I'm serious. Like I remember opening up that hat. And like that's what I remember is I waited for so long to open that hat and it'd be my birthday. It was long. Sorry, that's my first birthday.
I forgot Long John Silver's did birthday parties. Oh my God. I love that. That makes all the sense in the world, Aramis. That is your first memory. I just say less. But yeah, this research is going along just like I thought.
I don't know what to read what you're saying.
It's good. It's perfect. It's perfect. About how old are you?
Like 4 or 5.
Okay. Yeah. So definitely a good core first memory. Yeah.
Say it again.
Definitely a good core first memory. Nothing traumatic whatsoever, huh?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I don't. No, my first memory was like putting that hat on, like being excited that I finally got my hat.
Well, I'm very glad you finally got your hat. Before I do let you go, for real, I just had to share this because I come with memories. Look at you.
8th grade. Bridgeport Middle School.
I got the yearbook. Now listen, I was like, what happened to my girl name? Because you know we always starred our friends. Girl, I starred you because you was my friend. So when I shut the page, it kind of messed up your name. You know we were. Look at Din Din. I just reached out to Din Din last week. He gonna be like, Lord, you got me all on the.
To who?
Yes, Dennis Durham.
Oh yeah, he just lost his dad.
Yeah, I reached out to him. Yeah.
That was my buddy. He was one of my first friends. Him, and Brentoya were in kindergarten together. Those are my first school friends.
Well, I didn't realize Brentoya went to Bridgeport that long. You know, it's funny because certain communities, that was our own little world. And we were nothing but a few miles away, but that was still our own little world. Wow. Awesome.
Yeah. That's because it was Schluckbeer, Thomas White, Banner, and Kaufman that was all together for 5 years.
Yeah. The funny thing is, to this day, I know this sounds crazy. I can't tell you where Schluckbeer is. I can't tell you where
it is no more.
Well, I can't tell you where it was. In the other one, it was whatever other one you. It was like 2 of them. I have no idea where they were. Yeah. So.
Yeah, you know where the high school is, right? You know the high school is, right?
Yeah. They said it was like down the
street. It was right there on the right hand side.
Okay.
Yeah. When you saw the playground, it was right there.
There was no reason for me to go down there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like everybody wanted to go to Thomas White. I feel so, to this day, at 50 years old, I feel really empty that I did not get a chance to go to Thomas White. Me and Top would talk about it all the time because she was able to go.
That is funny. I never realized that. Interesting sidebar. I'm going to realize how often I use sidebar now. I often have dreams that I'm in Thomas White. And when I say often, like every other week. Okay, maybe that's a lot. At least once a month. No kidding.
What was the place behind it?
This the hill. You know, the hill in the back is like a little hump. It seemed like a big hill to us when we were little. Now you're like, that's the thing we were excited to get to. Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I didn't get to go there.
Sorry, girl.
Well, since I got to Thomas White were the baseball diamonds when we played for the Tigers.
Baseball diamonds were hot in the summer too, though. That was a place to be. Well, this has been a wonderful, wonderful trip down memory lane. This has been wonderful hair talk, wonderful Black girl safe space. Thank you for your story. I'm glad I relived that. That was a good one.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for all the time you did my wig.
Yes, and next time you're in Dallas, you've got to come experience the shampoo bed, the luxury massage shampoo bed. It's back massage, arm massage, leg massage, opening in the fall. Please follow us on Instagram to keep up with availabilities, specials, all that great stuff. You can find all the details online at RootdinDallas.com. RootdIn Dallas. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and stay tuned for more.